Hey everybody, hello, hello. Happy Transformation Tuesday. Welcome. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you are all doing fantastic. If you guys are new here, I'm Michelle Thomas. I'm a medical intuitive energy healer, psychic, and transformational coach. And today we are here for Transformation Tuesday. Today we are talking all about how we can trust our path. Right? And I get asked all the time, sort of, like, well, how do you even know what your path is? How do you know when you're on it? And then once maybe you think you're on it, then what happens? So I just want to talk a little bit about kind of like what your path is, right? Whether you think that's a career path or a spiritual path, I'll leave that sort of decision up to you. But one of the things that's really important when it comes to thinking about your path, right? And like I said, if you're sort of more on the secular side, you're sort of like not really as into the woo, like you're like, okay, well, what do I want in like my career path or my life path? And for me, it's really about my soul's path, my soul's journey, and how I know when I'm on the right path, right? And so for me, it takes a lot of introspection to figure out maybe what it is that you want. And to know that deeply and soulfully. I know that I'm here to help heal and guide people in this planet. Like, that's what I know. And in a lot of different ways, right? But that took a lot of curiosity and introspection. It took a lot of trial and error to figure out what it is that I wanted to do, what I was good at, and how it resonated with me. So I started my journey many years ago, and it was really about, like, I knew I was meant for more, right? I just felt this longing deep in my soul that I was like, I'm here for more. I know that there's more out there. How do I find it? And so when I finally did lean into it, I leaned into my spiritual side. I leaned into my intuitive side. I started, like, the universe started putting the right people, the right classes, the right books in my path. And I was a sponge. I would absorb all of this information. And some I was like, oh, that's really great information to know, but it didn't hit me at a soul level, right? Like, I learned angelic Reiki, and I learned how to tune into the Akashic records. I learned so many different techniques to grow my spiritual gifts and the process. But it wasn't until sort of I was in deep meditation one day that my guides were like, you're supposed to go be a medical intuitive. What are you doing? Stop dicking around and find a mentor. That is your path. But it took me a while. It took me a lot of curiosity and trial and error. But once I found it, man, they put the right people, the right opportunities right in front of me. They were like, here you go, bup, bup, bup. And so some of it's a little bit about really listening, being introspective, listening to what your heart really wants, getting out of your head and into your heart, and really figuring out what it is that you want, your soul wants, right? And a lot of times that's very different than what society thinks that you should want. And I did a workshop over the fall called Putting the She Back in Me. And it was really about figuring out what you want. Like, you don't have to want what society tells you that you're supposed to want. Like, having it all doesn't mean you get to have whatever it is that's meaningful for you. And so just leaning into a lot of introspection and curiosity, and trying new things. Like, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and out of your box. Being, like I said, curious. It took me a lot of different classes to figure out what felt good, what didn't feel good. But here's the thing, like, all of it was amazing information that I now get to utilize, right? I am a lifelong learner. I love learning things. I never stop. I never stop growing because I don't want to. Like, I always am curious. And so if you can come from a space of curiosity and going, well, what lights me up? What am I so most passionate about? That's going to really sort of help you to discover, if you don't understand, like, maybe what your path is, what you want to be doing. But your soul is here to learn something. It's here to grow. It's here to expand. And so the more you're curious, the more intuitively led you are, you'll find it, and you'll start seeing the serendipitous things falling into your lap. You'll notice the signs and symbols that the universe is saying, hey, you're in flow, you're in alignment, keep going, stay on the yellow brick road. Don't get lost off in the poppies and falling asleep, right? Because very often we'll start being in flow. Like, things come easy. And then all of a sudden our ego goes, why is this so easy? Life is not supposed to be this easy. And then you start self-sabotaging yourself. And like I said, you get sidetracked and you fall asleep in the poppies for a few years because you're like, oh, and then you're like, what happened? Where did all the things go? So one, know that it can be that easy. So don't think that it can't. But when you see the signs, when you see the path, stay on it, keep going forward, and really working with your divine team as well. Like understanding that they're there to help you every morning, getting up and going, what do you got for me today? Show me, right? Show me my path. Illuminate something, right? Remove the obstacles that are in my way. Allow me to see. And knowing that you only have to see the next right action. That's it. You don't need to see the full map, right? Because that's going to overwhelm your system. It's going to put you into like a state of overwhelm, and your ego is going to have an absolute conniption fit. So don't. Just break it down. Just be like, what's my very best next step? And leaning into the choices that you need to make to stay on path, to stay in that alignment, right? And a piece of that is making choices from the heart, listening to your body. Your gut knows. So stop using your head to make decisions, thinking this is what everyone expects me to make. This is the choice that everyone needs me to make. What's right for you? Figuring that out is a really important piece too, to following your path and following your journey and knowing. And here's the thing, like sometimes our journeys, there's speed bumps that get thrown in our path because our soul is here to learn and grow and change. So yeah, sometimes there's a little hiccup that happens and you're like, well, I thought this was going to be all smooth sailing. Yeah, but here's the thing. There's a lesson that you have to learn from right now. There's a soul opportunity right now. So let's learn it. Let's figure it out. Let's step over that little speed bump and keep going, right? So just because a little speed bump happens in your way, don't think that you're not on the path, because it happens all the time. Your soul's like, okay, you're doing great. You're doing fine. But you know what? We need you to learn this next. We need you to heal this next thing, and stepping into that space and learning and growing so that you can see it from a much bigger perspective, right? Being mindful, right? Really being in the present moment, staying in the now, understanding that this is all that we have. Stop catastrophizing your future. Like I said earlier, you don't need to see the full map. You don't need to see the map. You just need to see the next right step. And so ask your divine team, ask the universe, ask whoever it is that you align to. Show me my best next step. Wake up in the morning knowing that it will be revealed to you, right? Letting go of negativity, letting go of fear, right? Letting go of fear of change, right? That's a thing, right? We all have, change is inevitable. But again, you need to step out of your comfort zone. You need to stop fearing everything. Sorry, my dog is barking, and I'm outside and I'm trying to do this live. So excuse me. Anyways, so again, stop trying to control everything. Just start taking one step at a time. And when it feels good, when you're just like, oh, yeah, this is where I'm meant to be. This is what I'm meant to be doing, right? Follow that path. Listen to your heart. Listen to your gut. Make the choices that you need to make in order to keep going on that path. Tune out the negative Nancys. Tune out what society thinks that you're supposed to do. Turn down the ego. Turn down the ego. Allow yourself to just step into this space and really trust, right? It requires some faith and some trust. But again, being curious is really necessary. Because very often, we grow up thinking, okay, well, I'm here and I need to do this. I'm here to do X, Y, Z, because that's what society told us would make us money, or what society told us was right for us, or whatever, our parents, caregivers, whatever. But then as you start to get older, I like to call it my midlife awakening, right? Where all of a sudden you go, I'm not really happy and I don't know why, but I feel like there's something more living inside me. There's something more that I am meant for. And that's where a lot of women, especially where we start to step onto our soul's path, where we start to go, okay, I'm here for more than motherhood. I'm here for more than just being a wife or spouse or whatever. I'm here for more than XYZ. I'm here to be more than an accountant, or like I said, whatever it is. And that's where you can start leaning into understanding oh, this feels good, right? And it's not easy, right? It's not. if you had told me 5.5 years ago, by the way, Michelle, this is what you'd be doing. You'd have two groups. You'd have a successful career doing like, medical intuition, and you'd be teaching people how to really tune into their intuitive gifts. Like, I would have told you were insane. Like 5.5 years ago, I would have literally said, don't have any idea what you're talking about. But I trusted and leaned into when I was like, oh, this is it. This is where I'm supposed to be. This feels good. This makes me excited when I wake up in the morning, right? Is it easy? Is it all roses and rainbows? No, it's a lot of work. Some days I wake up going, what the hell am I doing? Am I making a difference? Right? And then when I start feeling that way, all of a sudden someone will reach out to me. They'll DM me and go, hey, did you know that message that you shared, that whatever reading that you gave me changed my life? It shifted my perspective. It allowed me to grow, change, whatever. It's those moments that I'm like, oh, I am on the right path. I am here to inspire others. I'm here to help others. So like I said, it's important that you are curious and leaning into what it is that just lights your soul on fire. Even if you're like, well, everybody's always told me I can't make money doing that or whatever. It doesn't matter. Lean into doing it anyways, right? And I'm not saying quit your day job, right? But lean into the growth and expansion, because you know what? Maybe it's something that's very symbiotic to like what you already do, and you can combine them. Like, who knows, right? I'm not here to tell you what your path is, but the more you're curious about it, the more you tune into your heart, and the more that you actually are in alignment with your heart's desire, right? Because again, a lot of times we're told what we're supposed to want, and we allow that to overrule every single other thing, every other choice that we make in our life. Stop playing it safe, right? Get out of your comfort zone. Push past what you think your limits are, because that's where the good stuff happens, right? When you are not in your comfort zone, and you're like, oof, okay, I'm going to do it anyways. That's where the magic happens, right? Because fear often is the direction we're meant to be going in. The thing that we fear, we're like, ooh, I don't know if that's really like what I should be doing, right? But again, when you tune in and you listen, and whether that be journaling or automatic writing or meditation, whatever it is, but like really listening to what your higher self want, and then asking your divine team to help you, speaking it out loud, telling the people that you love, this is what I want to be doing, sharing it with others, because then they can help you too. Right? Our divine team is not the only people that can help us in this world to achieve what we want to achieve, to guide us, to give us like little nuggets of wisdom. Like, again, the universe provides the right people, resources, and opportunities. When you are in flow, all that stuff starts flowing into your life, and it's like fucking amazing, right? Amazing. See the signs, right? So our guides are always giving us signs too. And I'm going to talk about this in a future Tip Tuesday as well. But listening to if you see those, repeating number patterns like regularly, when you see different things, that symbols that are meaningful to you. For me, like, I ask my guides to sort of give me a sign of, all right, so when you show me this particular symbol, that's my hell yes. And when you show me this other particular symbol, that's like, ooh, nope, warning, Will Robinson, do not go that direction, right? And I have to trust that. Or you can make it as a feeling, right? How, I want you to show me when I feel this way, this is a hell yes. When this feels this way, that's a hell no, right? But you can ask your team to help you understand your signs and symbols. You can ask them, you can give it to them and say, when I see a bluebird, that means XYZ. Right? You can give it to them, or you can allow them to show it to you. Either way, allowing yourself to see the synchronicities that flow into your life. Seeing when the universe is going, yes, you're on the right path. Keep going. Don't turn left. Just keep going straight. Right? And then again, choices, listening to your body when you're making choices. When you have a big decision to make, listen to your body, right? All right. Is this my yes or is this my no? Right. And then that being said, I also highly recommend use the tools that you have. I use pendulums. I have dowsing rods. Like sometimes where I'm just like sitting there going, I'm not really sure. Right. Or I'm being stubborn. Right. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I will pull out my pendulum and go, okay, is this, what are you showing me? Is this yes or no? Is this meant to be? Is this like what, you know? And you can use your pendulum for a lot of things. A lot of things. You can use it for foods that you should be eating. You can use it for supplements that you need to be taking. Like the pendulum is an amazing tool, as well. You can use muscle testing. Again, use the tools that you have that you're comfortable with. But when you're making a decision, make it from the heart, right? Tune down the noise of the ego and listen to your heart and being like, is this where I need to go? Even if it feels uncomfortable, is it a hell yes? Then go do it. Go and take that freaking step and go do it. And you'll be surprised at how things just start lining up. It's amazing when that happens. So yeah, so those are my big tips for you guys for really leaning into your path, being able to trust it and to allow, right? Let go of control. You have no control anyways. So let go of the steering wheel. Set those intentions, set those goals and those steps that you need to take in order to get there. And I think last Tip Tuesday, Transformation Tuesday, I think I posted some links to previous ones on setting intentions and goals and how to create habits that stick. So those are all really great uses as well when it comes to really starting to move your life forward. So I want to thank you guys all for being here for Transformation Tuesday. I will see you guys all next week. I have them all.